Well, hey there. Welcome back to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 77 of Relentless Talk Radio. And today I'm going to be talking with Jennifer Sievers and Demenia. Oh my God, I have to look at her name because it's a tough name like mine is. Isn't that awful that I can't just say off the top of my head? Demenia Andova. She has a company called Tutoring Made Personal, and she and I met several years ago through our good friend of ours at an art gallery, and we've been kind of bouncing off each other for a while. So I'm super excited to talk with her about what she's got going on as far as tutoring and resume writing. And Jennifer Sievers has got a company called Motorcycle Princess, and she's been riding her Harley across country on her own solo. She's a girl after my own heart, so I'm super excited to talk with her. So I thought about the two things that, the one thing that these two ladies would have in common. And it took me a second. So the first thing I really thought about was how they're both individuals. And also that they're both writing their own story. And Demenia actually happens to be a writer. And Jennifer is actually going out and doing something that a lot of women wouldn't dare do in a bazillion years, right off on a Harley by herself across country. So, the topic today is 10 ways you can write, relentless women can write their own story. So I just, I always Google when I do my research, like what is the main topic bring up when I Google it. And right away, freelancewriting.com brought up the idea of writing your life story. And I thought about that for a minute. I thought, how about if you made a plan to write your life story before you wrote it? If you lived your life with the plan of having the end in mind of writing a book about your life. And so that made me read the whole article that was written in freelancewriting.com very differently. So the first question really made me laugh right out loud. When you think about it, about a woman. And, we happen to third Tuesdays happens to be focused on relentless women. It's the Relentless Women Mastermind. Every third Tuesday, I talk with women. I had been talking with Alyssa Glutz and Sharon Bondron, and we decided that we wanted to expand the wealth. And so every week, I'll be talking to two women about what they're doing and how they're living their passion relentlessly. And this week, and next week, I've chosen the topics and the people. But next week, the third week, the ladies were actually going to tag team. So if you're a woman and you want to come on Relentless Talk Radio, you can email me, but you might want to actually reach out to one of the ladies that you see on the third week mastermind, because they are going to be nominating the following month's women. So, hey, Chris, she's saying she wants to write her own story. You know what? You can write your own story. So the first thing that they say is, who's going to write your story? It's really good that you say that, Chris May, because you're going to write your own dang story. I think it's, why do we think anybody else gets to write our story? We get to decide what our story is going to be. Now, stuff in life happens and you have to kind of respond to it, but your response to it is your story, right? So I got dirty glasses. I'm always constantly got dirty glasses if I'm wearing them. So, not giving your power away is what that first one's about. And let me tell you, I've done that in my life. I think as women, we're caregivers. And even if you're not a mom, like I never had the luxury of becoming a mother, but I think that we put everyone else's needs before our own. We just generally do that, most of us as women. Now, I know a couple women that aren't wired that way, but I think women generally give away the writing of their story to all kinds of things: children, husbands, partners, family. We give away the rights to our story to a lot of people that aren't ourselves. And so the idea of writing your own dang story really is empowering when you think about it. So Chris, thanks for tuning in on that. So the second thing was just start writing. And that makes me laugh, right? Sometimes we're like, Jennifer and I were talking last night as we were testing BeLive. And it's like, just start riding, as in your motorcycle. Just get on that dang bike and ride it, I think we think that there's supposed to be some grand plan that we have everything figured out, and in order to start having an interesting life. And the way I think about it is just start doing it. If you decide that you want to start doing something cool and different, just go do it. You don't have to wait for anyone's permission to go have an interesting life. You can actually start having an interesting life right now. So that really made me think about, how we procrastinate on having a great story. You can start having a great story this afternoon, quite frankly. The third one is write the scenes. I love that one, right? So if you're at nighttime when I'm trying to go to bed, one of the ways I get myself to sleep, because I have a very hard time shut my brain down. I know you guys find that hard to believe. But one of the ways I shut my brain down is to think about how I want a certain thing to turn out. If I have an event coming up, what the dress is going to look like, how I'm going to feel walking into the room. You know, if I'm writing to Sturgis, I'm already imagining being in front of I don't know, being on Needles Point Highway or being in Custer National Park, or, you know, doing my show from Black Hills Harley Davidson, which is probably where I'm going to do it, with Brody, Mark Brody, who's a really good friend of mine, who's going to be camping out there doing his painting on motorcycles. So I think about what that's going to look like. I envision a lot what's going to happen. And I do that before I go to bed because it gives me peace and ease to imagine myself where I'm going. You know, to know that I'm going to get there and imagine what, you know, what the dress is going to look like, what the shoes are going to be, you know, how my hair is going to look, who's going to be standing beside me, who's going to be around me. So I think that writing the scenes of your life in advance is really important. So if you want to go out and I'm going to be riding my motorcycle to Sturgis this year, and I'm imagining stopping at bakeries or, you know, small town businesses and interviewing business owners across the country. And I'm really looking forward to it. So if you want to follow that, you can go to Micalizzi Rides. It's a page that I've created just for the ride, if you're interested in following the riding part of my life. The fourth thing is get organized, right? So yeah, you know, we just kind of willy-nilly stuff a lot. I think it's important to organize what you want your life to look like and figure out what needs to go where, and not to just randomly make decisions in your life. You need to organize your goals and organize the information that you're going to use to write the scenes of your life, because you are taking control of your life. I just think we give away so much power, you know, and we run around willy-nilly it all the time, and getting your stuff together is important. The theme of your life. This comes up a lot for me, right? Because people say, Michelle, how did Relentless Talk Radio start happening? And I said, well, I was having conversations about health and fitness, art and fashion, philanthropy and entrepreneurism. And I thought I would just pull it together. And so I have a relentless theme. That's my theme. And it aligns with my mission, which is to lift up and encourage others to discover their best. So I just do that relentlessly. So I have a theme in my life, and it's about being relentless and not giving up and sharing that with people. And, you know, if you look at everything I do, whether it's riding my motorcycle, it's making art, it's lifting up business owners, it's doing things for philanthropy, it's practicing yoga, whatever I do, I'm doing it relentlessly. So my theme is to be relentless and fearless, right? So the sixth thing is get your friends and family involved. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm super excited about having my mom come out here for the holidays and getting her acclimated here in Arizona, so that when you know, that she has two homes as opposed to one, you know, and the idea of getting my mom deeply immersed in my life here in Arizona. My friend Peggy and I are we've been friends for 32 years, and she has no children. We both decided not to have children, and you know, we're thinking about what our elder years are going to be like. And I imagine that Peggy is going to be part of, you know, will be living with me when I'm an old lady. You know, that we're going to be roommates again. We were roommates in college, and we'll be roommates when we're seniors, you know. The idea of getting your friends and family involved in your life is super important, deeply important. My family and I have been having conversations on Sundays on Zoom. And I just think that's so powerful to get your family involved in what's going on. I'm actually surprised my cousin Lisa's not tuning in. She probably will tune in a bit later. But I think that having your friends and family be part of your story is super important. So gathering your photos, that's also super important. I'm telling you, as we have our phones, this little device that we carry around taking photographs, I organize my photographs of you know, different events, different themes on my phone, so that when it comes time for me to tell a story, I've got lots of photographs organized in a way that I can use. And it's important to do that as you tell the story of your life. I did a really great video of my dad's memorial service when I did a really great video of my dad and throughout the entire series of his life, you know, it was good to have those photographs from when he was in the service and when he was a young man, so make sure you organize your photographs so that you can use them and they can be there for your family as you're going forward. That's so funny. My cousin Lisa's been there the whole time. I love that. Lisa, you've become part of the show. You're a regular. The 8th thing is a range of emotion. All right, so I've been thinking about this, okay? I want all the emotions. I don't want just the happy ones. I want all of them. I want to have, if you watch a movie and there's only happiness and there's only the good stuff, right? And you really want to have all of the, hang on a second. I need to answer this little thing that's popping up here. So being able to have a range of emotion in your life is really important to have a rich life. Okay, just having the happy things, and I really go out there and talk about choosing joy. Okay, and choosing joy is very important. But there's also other emotions that are happening in life. There's things that are tough that happen in life, and what makes an interesting story is having all of the emotions. Okay, all of the things in your life that you are experiencing are very important. Okay, and none of your emotions are devalued. The sad ones, the flat ones, the big ones, the small ones. Having emotion is part of the wonderfulness of being human. And I'm always very disconcerted by people who only want to feel one of the emotions. Like they're stuck in sad, or they're stuck in angry, or they're stuck in happy. In order to be a well-rounded person and have a good story, you have to have all of the emotions, okay? And then the 9th one is to record stuff, to create video. It's the same thing with photographs. I have a video of my dad that I haven't shared with my family yet, of him talking about how he was hunting one day and he got 2 deer by himself. He was in the woods by himself, and how he dragged both of the deer out of the woods on his own. Lisa, I'll share that video with you guys soon. Having videos of your life. I love watching my cousins post videos of the babies and of the graduations and the marriages and all the things. Video is important now. So grab a hold of your phone and make sure you take a lot of videos and save them in places that you can get to them. Because if you're writing your story, you want to be able to look back on video and be able to see what you're really blessed in the video. So, and absolutely that video with you. And the last one is your own story is powerful therapy. I would say that writing your story in advance is also really good therapy. Having access, and I sit under rocking chairs from like 85 years old, because we're going to live to be old ladies there. And I see a really good story to tell. And I think that there's 2 ways of therapy. There's one is to look back on your life. There's also a difference there. That's looking forward, being able to see yourself where you're going, and to choose to write a story that you can be proud of. I think there's been times in my life where I've had to end a chapter or turn a page or leave a job, or, a season is ended, a chapter is ended. And it's ended because there's time for a new chapter and a new season. And when we take control of our stories and we write the scenes of our life, then we know when a chapter has run its course, and we know when a job has run its course. We know when it's time to move to a different place. We know when there's something new needs to happen in our life. And so when we're empowered and we're writing our own story, then we're able to do that in a very different way. because really we are in charge of how our life unfolds. And although there's also always things that happen in our life that are unforeseen and unplanned and not necessarily easy, how we choose to respond to them and how we choose to write that story in the power way is really up to us. So I'm going to go over and get Demina right now, and we're going to talk about her business, which is tutoring and tutoring made personal. And she works on tutoring and also resume writing. So I'm going to go scoop up her. So be back for segment 2 in just a couple minutes. I am Michelle Micalizzi. This is Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 77, and we've been talking about how to write your own story. Thanks a lot, guys.